All right, guys, welcome back to Remotely Wasted. Here to talk college football with you. We got a good episode coming up today. We're going to be talking about the playoff scenarios that could happen, the conference championship tiebreakers and stuff that could happen. So if you're unsure of how all that's going to pan out, I got you
I'm unsure
covered. I did
too.
some research to do it. So I'm going to lay those scenarios out for Jaden. We're going to kind of like theorize how it could play out and see how that goes. And then also as usual, we'll give you our top six power rankings, Heisman Watch, which is heating up to be an interesting race.
Yeah,
But here it is. It's rivalry week. This is one of my favorite weeks of the college football season.
this
Might be
might
my
arguably be the best league. Mm,
rivalry week is fun. It's like, it's Thanksgiving. Uh
yeah,
it's like a long weekend for a lot of us, not all of us, so shout out to those of you working on the holidays, but Uh, it's a long weekend. It's fun. You got all these like classic historic rivalries. It's like it's either like my favorite weeks is rivalry week. I love conference championship week because that's always fun too.
yeah.
And then I like week one. Honestly, week one's probably like it's really close because week one,
Week one's just so
everybody has that
exciting.
excitement.
Yeah,
Like
for your team's
everybody
like
thinks their
fresh.
team is like in it.
And then you see how your team really plays against and not your team, not your team's defense, and you're like, oof, this gonna be a rough year.
Yeah, that's how it always, it starts out good, then you get that first loss or that first test, and then you're like,
Season's
oh,
over.
this is
It's
not
over.
fun. And then the last week though, like I feel like rivalry week's really where the chaos comes in, which is my favorite part of college football is the chaos when things just
Yeah.
go crazy, like teams you didn't expect to get into the playoff race end up hopping into it. So that's kind of where I want to start really with the conference championships because obviously with the 12 team playoff, you win your conference if you're a group of five or power four, you're automatic, and then you get the one group of five. So I figured why not start if you're not aware, I'm an Oklahoma fan. Jaden's a Florida State fan. So let's start at Jaden's conference with the ACC, kind of looking at how that race
It got a
is
little
playing out.
spicier since Georgia Tech lost.
So if the season was to end right now, it'd be SMU versus Virginia. But there is currently four other teams that are somewhat alive in this ACC race. We got Pitt, Georgia Tech,
Georgia Tech,
Miami, and Duke.
Louisville. But you
And
already
I
see
think I
Louisville?
think I think Louisville might have a slight
I think
chance too
Louisville's
there with
got
Duke.
one conference loss.
So I didn't see them in the scenarios. I don't know
Here,
if it's
hold on.
because of like a tiebreaker or whatnot, but I didn't see them as like
Well,
a
they lost to
viable.
Miami.
Let's see what
Pretty
they
sure, right? Or
they
did they beat
got.
Miami?
They beat Miami and then they lost to SMU and then they lost
Mm.
to I want to say they lost to another team as well that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Yeah, so they've got a
Oh,
looks like
never
they're
mind.
four
They
and four in
fucking.
conference. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
why.
thought.
I'm thinking of who am I thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of Pitt. I'm getting Pitt and them confused because I was watching Pitt play Georgia Tech and I was like, oh damn, they only have one conference loss, and
Yeah,
I thought
that's
it
so
was Louisville
so.
for some reason.
Yeah, so that's the thing with ACC right now. So basically, if SMU wins this weekend, I can't even remember who they're playing. It's nobody good. They're in. If Virginia beats Virginia Tech, SMU's playing Cal. Virginia is playing Virginia Tech. If they both win, they're in. But in the event that one of them loses, you'd
Pitt
get
would get in.
Pitt.
Who's
But
Pitt
Pitt
playing?
is playing Miami though, so it's not an
Ooh.
easy path for Pitt. But Pitt could possibly get in.
Pitt looks nice, man. They looked really good against Georgia Tech. Their offense was fire, and their quarterback looks good. I think he's a true freshman. I don't, I fucking don't, I don't get it. All these other schools just throw true freshmen out there, and they look like Heisman players. And then when my team does it, and they're like dog shit. You're like, what are we doing?
For some reason,
Uh,
their quarterback, like when I play NCAA, he always like is like a Heisman candidate on that
he
game for
he
whatever
looks
reason.
he looks really good. So I don't think it's gonna be an easy game for Miami. Pitt's defense was playing pretty well too.
It's a
So.
lot of pressure for Miami. Like I feel like
Yeah, I think it's
Miami's under
more
the bigger
pressure
pressure.
on because they have to win. I mean, I guess they both have to win and just hope. But I really don't want to see Miami in there, so fuck them.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to see Miami either. I think for Miami to get in, from my understanding, they need both Virginia and SMU to lose. From my understanding, that's the only way Miami gets in, and then they have to
It's
obviously beat
possible.
Pitt. So it's not
they need three different
impossible.
things to happen for him.
Yeah, they need like the most. I not the most help. Obviously, Georgia Tech I think needs like a crazy amount of help. They need like a bunch of things to happen as well
Yeah,
as Duke. They
they
just
fucked
need
themselves
like
over.
a domino of things to happen to get in. But most likely scenario right now, SMU versus Virginia. But I'm not ruling out a Virginia loss because Virginia Tech they're not
I
good, but
I
they
think
got a lot of
Virginia
swagger to them right now with James Franklin coming in, and it's a
is their
rivalry game.
quarterback still hurt? Has he played recently?
Let's see.
He played on the 15th against Duke. Okay. I think he got hurt against Wake. Maybe.
Okay, and he's probably like
I could have
just
swore
came
he
back in
missed a
next week.
game too, but I guess not. So
Well, I
yeah,
mean, he only had like 6 attempts, so he basically missed that entire game.
I
If
thought
you look at
Virginia
it
was
that way,
cooked, but
yeah.
uh
So I mean, they should win this game. Like it's certainly in their favor, but it is a rivalry game. Virginia Tech, they're confident. They got James Franklin coming in. Those guys are going to be playing really hard. The guys that want to play for James Franklin to stay on the team. So I wouldn't rule
yeah.
it out. Cal versus SMU, I doubt it. SMU's been like trending
Is
in
it
the
a
right direction.
home game for SMU?
Oh, that's a good question because if it's in
Because
Cal, that could cause some
that's a
problems.
far, yeah,
It's in Cal, so
Texas to Cal. I mean, it's closer than all the other teams in the fucking ACC that have to go, but still, it's
y-
not. A couple teams got caught lacking flying out to the West Coast this year, so um, yeah, it's doable. And Cal's not like the worst team. I mean, they're capable.
so
Um,
so uh looking at this, like obviously we'll get more into this like next week when the matchups are solidified. But so off the top, like who are you thinking is gonna make the ACC
it's gonna like
championship, and who's gonna
um,
make it, and who do you think would win right now?
I think SMU wins. So I think SMU's in there. I really do think Virginia will make it. So it'll probably be Virginia SMU. I'd like to see Pitt in there instead of like SMU. Maybe Pitt, Virginia, I think would be really fun.
Yeah, that'd be a really fun matchup.
In that matchup, I'd probably go Pitt, but I think Pitt could beat both of those two teams. But SMU versus Virginia, oh no. I'd probably lean SMU's way.
Yeah, and they're a little bit more experienced.
Experienced, like
They were in this game last year. They were in the playoffs last year.
yeah,
They're
that'd be
coming
good for the
alive at the right
program.
time.
Be good for the program, making back-to-back ACC championships, back-to-back playoff berths, maybe win the ACC, and then like second year, so that'd be cool. Be cool for
Yeah,
them.
they've already like
They're on the
turning
up.
themselves into the top ACC team. I mean, for me, I'm thinking it's going to be SMU, Virginia, just because their paths are a lot easier than any other team. Um, it's tough. Like Virginia's offense is really hard to stop. It's like a really
Yeah,
well designed offense. But like you said with SMU, just like kind of the experience, this is not their first time around. Also, it depends on what Rhett Lashley's doing. Like, is he
yeah.
leaving the
SMU's quarterback's
program?
pretty mobile too. He'd be a good hire, like good pickup. I mean, I could maybe see if Dabo leaves Clemson, I could see that being a spot. I feel like he'd fit in well there.
Yeah, so I mean
Um,
that's kind of like a interesting thing to watch because his name's
I
definitely being
I haven't
whispered.
I haven't really heard his name too much.
I've seen it
Not
for
a
a few
lot.
different jobs. I want to say like the biggest one. I've seen him a lot with Arkansas, but obviously the Dabo thing's kind of cooking right now. But Virginia in the playoffs would be really fun. Just because I don't think Virginia's ever really truly competed for a football title. I would like to see it. But yeah, I'm going SMU for the time being. We'll get back to Miami because when we talk about the bigger playoff picture, they're obviously
They're
still very, very much in that
I don't
hunt.
know. The committee's got him slotted in there, so they might just make it being that second ACC team just based off ranking. So they might not need to make the playoff or the ACC championship game.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, they're
mean,
kind
well,
of sitting. They gotta move up two spots.
the weird thing right now with Miami is like so obviously, the group of five champion gets in the playoffs. Um, and then the ACC champion, like let's say
Might
for
be
example,
11
SMU wins.
is what everybody's
SMU
thinking.
is not even ranked right now. So let's say they win the ACC,
They'd be 11.
they
So
would get
Miami needs to move up 3 spots. They need to be
Miami
10.
needs to be like ranked 10
Yeah.
to get in right now. Based on like the group of five and the way the ACC's looking right now. So Miami has a
Yeah.
pretty tough path, and then they're going to be stacked up against other teams, which we'll get into a little bit more. But there's other teams that if they do certain things, they might have a better
People are
resume
talking about
in
like if
Miami.
Texas Tech loses, they would still bump Miami out.
Yeah, that's a good segue into the Big 12. So if we're looking at the Big 12 right now, it's pretty simple. Texas Tech wins this weekend against West Virginia. They're in BYU. I can't remember who they're playing, but they win if they're in, obviously. Um,
Play with UCF.
UCF and
Should
UCF
be
is not
doable.
very good. They struggled quite a bit against Oklahoma State this past weekend. So the only other really thing that could happen is if Texas Tech somehow gets upset by West Virginia, Arizona State will then get into the championship as long as they take
Over
care of business.
Utah?
Because yeah, even over Utah from what I was seeing. Utah will get in with an Arizona State
Does
loss
Arizona
and
State have
a
head to
loss
head
of
over
either of those
Utah?
teams.
No, they lost to Utah. That doesn't make sense.
It has something to do with I think Arizona State beating
Oh,
Texas
Arizona
Tech.
State, yeah, they beat them. Utah's lost to both of them.
Yeah, so
Huh.
Utah only gets in, I think if like they all lose, basically, I
It's
think.
weird. It's
So
awkward.
it honestly it's looking pretty cut and dry. It's gonna be Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah, more than
Um
likely. That's pretty. I'd feel pretty confident about that.
that's like the I feel like this is the easiest conference to predict right now. And
Yeah.
as in terms of the championships, they play it at AT&T Stadium with in Texas, Arlington, Texas. So it's going to be a home game for Texas Tech, unfortunately for BYU. So I would say Texas Tech probably wins that one decisively again, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I do like Texas Tech in that, in the rematch again. I just would hope BYU shows up a little bit better this time. They did
Yeah.
kind of get killed. It wasn't even close. But I mean,
Mm,
Texas Tech's they're a good team, man. They're pretty well rounded. I hope they can actually compete against some of the bigger schools. Like, I mean, they're too tough, or their two best wins are Utah and BYU with the loss against Arizona State. So it's like, can they compete outside this Big 12 realm against, Big 10 school or oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Man,
I
JC
mean
JC
that's a
Horn
good
going
point.
crazy. He just got a second interception.
That's crazy.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
that's like that's the thing. Like, can Texas Tech compete? They have
I hope
a
so.
good defense in terms of Big 12 standards at least.
Yeah.
Good quarterback that's starting to get healthy. Good receiving core. I think they could put up a fight against a lot of these teams. Now, in the event that Texas Tech loses the Big 12 championship, you're probably
I
getting
think
two Big 12 teams,
I
unless
think
unless
they
they just
still
get
get
beat
in.
like 48-0 or something. It'd have to be extreme.
Yeah, because it would be probably BYU, Texas Tech still. If BYU loses again, then they're out. Utah might be able to scrape in. Because that would free up the 11 spot, which would be probably the ACC. So they would need to move up two,
Yeah, which I
which
mean,
would
it's
be that spot
looking.
that Miami is looking for.
I would
So
say
it might,
aside from Texas Tech, pretty much all those other teams have to win the Big 12 to get in. Realistically, Texas Tech they couldn't afford a Big 12 championship loss and probably still get in. They're the only
yeah,
team that can afford a second loss in the Big 12 really without
yep.
winning. So that takes us to the Big 10, which is actually a lot more interesting than it sounds.
It is pretty interesting.
So the
I
obvious
mean,
the obvious
it's pretty
scenario is
locked.
Indiana, Ohio State. Um,
Yeah.
but some things could happen.
Ohio
So
State
if
plays Michigan.
Michigan beats Ohio State, that turns it into Indiana, Oregon for the
Yep.
championship. Now, if Oregon loses to Washington this weekend and
It's
Michigan
very
beats Ohio
possible.
State, you're getting Michigan, Indiana, and then I don't know. Like I'm gonna be honest, there's no way Indiana
USC
loses to Purdue.
had a decent shot to make it before they lost this past weekend.
Yeah.
So they would have been right there at that 3 spot, looking in, hoping for some chaos from Michigan, Ohio State, but
I
they
mean,
got
that's what
killed.
everybody's hoping for. I think of Michigan. a Michigan win does a lot for a
A
lot of
lot
teams.
of yeah, it really does. And then
I just
yeah,
I don't
Mich
see Indiana losing this weekend to Purdue. It sounds almost
well, so if
impossible.
Michigan beats Ohio State, I think that jumps them far enough up the rankings. They might get four teams in the Big Ten, like from the Big Ten in. It'd be
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, unless Oregon loses to Washington. Say they win, there's three. Michigan has to get in, being 9-2, with a win over the number one team in the country. Like that should jump them. I mean, they're what, 8 spots away from really making that spot to shoot for it at the 10 spot. I think that's enough to move you up 8 spots at least. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's where that's kind of what I was hinting at with Miami. Like if
that would
Michigan
piss
hits
the
Ohio State, do you let Miami in or do you let Michigan in?
that would
That's a
really probably
strong
piss the
debate.
SEC off if the Big Ten got four teams in. They might be tied. I mean, we'd have to look at the SEC lineups, but matchups. But they might either get the same amount of teams, or they might edge them out and have 4-3 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it could be a tight race in that regard. And I mean you're looking at Indiana feels like a lock for the Big Ten title.
I think so. Yeah.
There's no like knock on wood, but like I mean like they're playing Purdue this weekend. They're
Barring a
probably a 50
catastrophe,
point favorite. Like it'd be one of the biggest upsets of all time if they lost to
it'd be
Purdue's 0-8
massive.
in the conference. So you're looking at Indiana kind of locked in there. Obviously, Indiana would probably like to play Oregon again. They know they could beat them. They've done it once. They beat them in their house. And you
Yeah.
take them closer. They're going to be in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship. So that's a big advantage for Indiana if they could get into the Big Ten championship. Because even with Ohio, I mean Ohio State is pretty close, so that'll be like pretty even actually. But you get a West Coast team like Oregon and Indiana, like Indiana is going to have a home game and that's going
Yep.
to swing things in Indiana's favor. So
A little bit.
Indiana's
I mean,
probably hoping
I
and
think the
praying for
ticket
a Michigan
sales are
upset.
still probably even, but it's not as much travel and it's just easier.
And it's just better. Like you're just going to have a better energy the whole week.
Yeah,
All your
exactly.
fans are going to be surrounding you the whole time while
Like
you're
you know
practicing.
your family can actually potentially make the game instead of like, oh, you got the championships in Oregon, you got to come to Oregon if you want to see me play, type thing. So
Yeah.
type shit.
So that'll take us to we'll go to the SEC, then we'll talk about the group of five. So the SEC, we talked about this last week, how we don't want to see Georgia or Bama in the championship, but unfortunately it is 100% locked that we will see one or the other in the championship no matter what. So where we stand right now, A&M wins this weekend against Texas, they're in. Bama beats Auburn, they're in. A&M loses, you got Georgia, they're playing Bama. If assuming Bama wins. If Bama loses, you're getting Georgia A&M. If
Well, what
A&M
if
and
Georgia and Bama both lose?
you get Georgia versus Ole Miss in that
Because I
scenario.
think that's definitely possible. Because A&M, I feel confident that they could beat Texas. I mean, not like 100%, but I feel confident. Texas is actually they're catching some steam. Arch is playing pretty well.
Or yeah,
Um,
you would get A&M and Ole Miss if Georgia and Bama both lost. So that's the only.
yeah,
Actually,
and
no,
then
no, 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 no. It
Georgia's
doesn't
got Georgia
matter.
Tech.
It doesn't matter because Georgia is not playing any
Oh,
more
it's
conference games.
yeah, it's not a
So
conference
they're
game.
locked in. Yeah, so there's no way they don't make it
Oh,
if
see,
Bama
that
loses.
could fuck Georgia over though for seeding wise. So say they lose to Georgia Tech, who's sitting at I think 16 right now, 18 give or take, a couple spots. So they lose to them, that drops them far, like probably 4 spots. And then they lose in the SEC championship game, they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, if they lose bad enough, they probably
Like
would.
if they
There's
lose
three
both of those
loss.
games, like how far
Yeah,
are you gonna drop losing to the 16th ranked team?
yeah, and honestly, like
I'd say at least
Georgia Tech's probably
5.
fallen out of like they're 16 now. Tomorrow when the rankings come out, they might be like 20 something, like
Yeah,
23.
so that's at least 5 spots, just being generous. That
Then
leaves
if
you
you lose
at 9.
badly in the
And then
SEC
and then
championship,
you
like
yeah,
you're
you lose to A&M like that there's not a lot of wiggle room from 9 to being out. It's like you have 1 spot, maybe 2.
Georgia's kind of in a bad situation right now
Because
with
Georgia
what they
Tech's
got
not the
going on.
easiest team to play.
And they're coming off a
Um,
loss. They're going to be a lot better this week than they were last week. And they
yeah, Alabama's playing a solid Auburn team, so if they lose, they're out.
Yeah,
Um,
Auburn's or I mean Alabama's 100% out of the
eh,
playoffs if they lose to
yeah.
Auburn. There's no chance if they
So
lose that.
if hypothetically, if the chaos erupts, so A&M's pretty much guaranteed no matter what to make the playoffs. Say Georgia loses those two games, they would probably be out. Ole Miss is probably in, so that's two for the SEC. We'll say Alabama loses for shits and giggles, they're out. Uh, OU's in. That might be three SEC teams.
Yeah, I mean it could definitely play
And
out
then
that
that opens
way.
the door, yeah, for Miami to get in. So the ACC's gonna have two, so that's five. If the chaos erupts in the Big Ten, where they get four in, there's nine. The two Big Ten or Big 12 teams, that's 11, and then the Group of Five team, it's 12.
Yeah, so I mean you're
It'd be
looking
kind
at
of, it'd be
potential
kind of,
chaos in the SEC.
it
And
could be
then
kind of spicy across the board.
I didn't mention so like Ole Miss could lose the Egg Bowl because it's a huge distraction going on in Ole Miss.
Could lose the
Like
who?
Lane Kiffin, Mississippi State, like it could happen just
Oh
based
yeah,
on just the distraction around the game. It's a rivalry
it's
game in
on
the
the
Egg
road
Bowl.
too.
So if they lose, if like Bama, Ole Miss, and A&M all lost, it'd be A&M and Georgia. Like Georgia would just own the, or A&M would just still get in at that point. So you're looking at just a weekend of chaos in the SEC. Um, it would be kind of disappointing if after all of this we just end up with a Georgia Bama
It's
SEC
been such a fun
championship.
season. I don't want to see that.
Oh, that would be depressing. I'm rooting for at this point. I'm rooting for A&M to win the
A&M or Ole
SEC.
Miss.
Yeah, and I mean Ole Miss is just like that sucks. Like that situation is just very
I'd be
unfortunate.
very pissed if I was an Ole Miss fan. I'd be like, dude, just come on, make a fucking decision. Like
If Lane Kiffin makes the playoffs
they're
and
making the playoffs
doesn't,
regardless. Like
yeah,
if they
so
lose,
he's making, well, if they lose the Egg Bowl, maybe not. Um,
I mean, you
like
said
if
it's
they lose
six. Like
Mississippi State's not very good though. They're 1-6 in conference, 5-6 overall. And honestly, like the committee is probably looking for an excuse to knock them out. That way they don't have to deal with Lane Kiffin not being there. And honestly, if Lane Kiffin leaves with his team in the playoffs,
that's
I'm
fucked.
I'm gonna lose a little bit of respect for him, honestly, because like, what's the
I
point
wouldn't
of
want to go
coaching?
play for him like at whatever team he ends up on. You're like, oh, he could just bail. Like, we could make it all the way, and he could just bail at any time. Because I mean, he's not gonna get a bigger job offer than 90 plus million from LSU if that's in fact accurate. Like, that's fucking absurd.
Yeah,
I'm taking it. I'm gone. I'm gone. Ninety million
yeah.
dollars is just generational wealth, like for a long fucking time.
That is, I mean, that's also a good point, is he does have
That's a stupid amount of
a
money.
lot of money on the table. It'd be very hard to turn down, but like I don't know why they can't work out a scenario where like, hey, just let me finish out the season with Ole Miss, and then
If
I'll
Ole
come
Miss
to
ain't
LSU.
offering at least a contract extension with 60 at minimum, like they're probably not gonna get him. They're not gonna keep him unless
Yeah,
he
I
just
mean
fucking
he's
absolutely
probably
loves it there.
leaving.
But
I think
I
it would
think
just
he's
be Florida not doesn't make sense to me. Like, don't go to Florida. That's stupid. Um,
no,
because LSU is basically already built for a title. I understand that, but it's just like finish the season out with your guys. Like you actually have a legit shot at a national title if you beat Mississippi State this weekend. Like you're a legit
right off
team.
into the sunset.
Y'all played Georgia to the wire. Y'all beat Oklahoma. Like y'all have proven yourself. And I don't think Ole Miss has made the playoffs since he's been there. So he finally got them to where they're a contending team. And it's a lot of money. I just wish there was a way where he could just be like, I'm gonna finish out with Ole Miss and then
I don't think he has the
I'm a joint,
option.
but Ole Miss will probably be like, no, because you ain't about to steal all our players. Like, just go, because a
Yep.
lot of those players won't enter the portal because they'll be in the playoffs, so he won't get to steal as many. So it'd be a good power move for Ole Miss
I
to
mean,
be like,
he can wait for the next portal to open up.
true. I mean, a lot of them probably would go play for him, but it would buy Ole Miss some
But
time to
yeah, there'd
try
be
to
no
put some things
guarantee.
together.
It might stall his, you know, roster building. He might be like, okay, I want Chambliss. I'm not gonna pursue a quarterback 'cause Nussmeier's gone. I don't know what they got on the backup, but um, it could be. I'm gonna wait for him to come for the next portal to open up, so he don't get a quarterback, and then maybe he don't get him, so then they're fucked. They ain't got a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
it puts him in a tough spot, but he's he's got a it's a good problem to have though. He's got all these teams hunting him down, wanting
what is
him
this?
to go. And Ole Miss, they'll find a decent replacement. He's turned Ole Miss into more of an attractive spot to go before. I mean,
And they have money too. It's not an issue for them.
yeah, I
It's
mean Hugh Freeze, also turned the program around. He deserves some credit for that because
yeah.
he only had to leave because of a scandal.
I think he kind of laid the foundation for what Lane Kiffin's built his house upon.
Yeah. So I mean it's a lot of drama set up in the SEC right
Yeah.
now, which I guess we could hop into the group of five, which is also kind of an interesting race right now. So let me see what I got for the group
I
of
mean,
five.
it's probably gonna be
It's the
somebody from
American conf or the
American,
AA,
like
yeah, the American.
because CUSA and top team 7 or 4, so no.
Sunbelt has James Madison, I believe, which
Notre Dame's in there. Mac, no. Mountain West, no.
no, nothing really in the Mountain West. I think the Sunbelt's the only one even kind of competing with James Madison.
So it's yeah, James Madison
But it's really going to be
or
the winner of this conference. And so the
I've
way this conference
everybody's
is set up,
predicting Tulane in there. Like, who does Tulane even play this week?
Tulane
Charlotte
plays Charlotte, and
probably a
North
win.
Texas plays someone not very good either,
Temple.
Temple. So if they both win, they're in that championship game. The winner of that game most likely gets in. But
Yeah.
if one of them loses, I believe Navy gets in the championship game.
James Madison plays Coastal. It's a losable game.
Yeah, and I mean James Madison just hasn't had as tough of a schedule as these American conference teams. Like they've had to play each other. Like Navy's had to play North Texas, and South Florida's had to play a lot of these teams. Looking at like who's alive in this race right now. So it's Tulane, North Texas, Navy, USF, and East Carolina has like a very slim chance of making that title game. But it looks like honestly, North Texas and Tulane should be able to take care of business. I'm rooting for North Texas over Tulane. Tulane's coach is getting a lot of mentions in terms of coaching options. Like I heard he's, a big
I
person
mean,
Florida's looking at.
Tulane's been pretty good for the last couple of years consistently, so um I don't think that'd be a terrible target. It's just I mean, going after these group of 5 coaches, it's a little like it's
It's
risky.
risky.
Like I mean, that's the boat that like Florida State's sitting in with Norvell. Like it's risky, you know. You don't know if they're gonna be any good. Like they could be good coaches, but maybe they don't recruit well, or maybe they can't build a staff well. You know, they're not used to having the kind of budget that they got. So you know, they might whiff on the portal and
Yeah, and
overpay
yeah,
people or underpay. You know, they got too much
yeah,
money. They don't really. It's weird allocated. But I mean, if you have a good like what's the fucking person above the head coach? Athletic director. If you got a solid athletic director to kind of help guide you, like, hey, maybe like let's go this direction. Let's go after these dudes. Um, could be like a proven
yeah,
athletic director. Maybe that's maybe like say he's gonna go to Florida. I mean, obviously, Florida's been in a shambles for like a long time, so maybe I wouldn't listen to their athletic director. But if like say he did go to LSU or some shit by some miracle, like. And maybe not even that guy because they hired Brad Kelly. Uh, okay, maybe say
yeah,
hypothetically he goes to fucking Ole Miss. If Lane Kiffin leaves, like okay, you can maybe listen to that guy. Um, it's just it's risky. It's very risky.
yeah. A lot of these teams now are hiring just general managers to even, take the pressure off the athletic director. Like Oklahoma did that this offseason, hiring Jim Nagy, who was
He was on the
he
Bears,
was
wasn't he?
he was I think at
Or
one
I'm
point
thinking of
he
Matt
might.
Nagy.
No, no. Yeah, Jim Nagy was he was the head of the Senior Bowl. That's what he was in charge of that. So he had obviously a lot of connections with NFL players and
That's
knew
cool.
a lot of that business aspect of it. Probably knew a lot of agents and stuff like that.
Well,
So he
that's a
brought in
good
some good
spot to
people.
have because like you're so interconnected, especially with all this like talent transitioning into the NFL. So like, you kind of know like what to look for. Like these are the people like in these positions that are getting looks, even from smaller schools, and this is how they're showing out, and this is what you want to see from like to get to make it. So it'd be like that's a super like useful person to have for like
It's a great
even the
networking
players to talk
opportunity.
to as well. Like you know,
He knows that he's connected to everybody, coaches, players,
yeah.
agents, just anybody you could be connected to. So a lot of teams I think need to start looking at hiring GMs to kind of manage this money in the NIL era. But we're pretty much that's kind of the conference scenario. So I mean, if I had to guess right now, I'm gonna go North Texas in the AC on the AAC, and then we didn't really like predict our winner in the SEC. Right now. I'm going Georgia.
I'm
Unfortunately,
gonna go
if they if they
A&M.
if they get in, um, and then in the Big Ten, I'm still leaning Indiana, but it's close with Ohio State, depending on how
I
that
think
game plays out.
I think Ohio State's gonna win, but I really hope it's Indiana. I don't know. I've heard talk of like Ohio State potentially like sitting starters and shit like that, but I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's coming out of the school or people just gossiping. Who knows?
I
But
hope I hope not. Like I hope we don't
there's
get to that
no
point.
way, man. Especially if they lose to Michigan, they're gonna be pissed. I mean, they might not even make it in the if they lose to Michigan.
They
So.
very likely do not make it in if they lose to Michigan.
I, I, I don't know. They could be kind of looking forward against Michigan. Maybe they think Michigan's just kind of in a slight down year, so they might overlook them a little bit. I low key just hope Michigan wins, and we
Oh
got to
yeah,
worry
that's
about
that's what
Ohio
I'm
State.
that's
That's
what I'm
ideal.
always I'm
I'd rather
always
see
rooting for
Oregon and
Michigan in this
Indiana
game.
play again,
Yeah, I
realistically.
would rather see that as well because I don't like Ohio State, man. It just is what it is.
When was the fucking last time it wasn't an Ohio State or Michigan team in the Big Ten championship?
I mean that's been a minute because I mean Oregon and all them just got into the conference last year, so probably like never. Like honestly, like
I gotta know.
like I
Um,
highly doubt that's ever happened. Maybe I mean I know one year it was like Nebraska, and I want to say like maybe it was like Nebraska and some weird shit like Northwestern or something. Um, maybe there was a year where like Penn State made it and neither one of them made it. Actually, last year wasn't it Penn State Oregon last year?
it was okay. So.
Aside from that,
Before that, it was 2016 with Wisconsin, Penn State.
okay. So yeah, it's been a little bit.
Oh, that's when Trace McSorley was there.
So it's been a while. I mean, obviously last year it happened for the first time, but the conference grew last year, so that was kind of and they also changed the rules last year to where it's just the automatic top two teams. It used to be the divisions. That's how you would get like Wisconsin and Northwestern and all those
Yeah,
teams
those
into the
divisions were
championship.
axed too.
Yeah, it'd be like the good division had Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State all in it, and Penn State would just always get
I was
third
getting beat the
place.
fuck on. Yeah.
So, so I guess looking at the rankings and like the bigger playoff picture, we're kind of looking at these scenarios right now. I want to say like Michigan probably has the biggest chance to really make a huge jump if they win this weekend. Um, the thing I'm concerned about, like Texas beating A&M, would they let Texas in the playoff at that point if they beat
Probably.
A&M? And that's
Probably.
kind of ridiculous when you look at some of these other teams that have one
Let's
less
see. They
loss.
they got to move up like 6 spots. So like beating the number 3 team, like, and it's Texas. It's a massive brand. That would do crazy numbers seeing them in the playoffs. That would make so much money for a lot of people. Be the first 3 loss teams, and it would be an SEC team, which they'd be fucking more than happy to do it. Like, oh yeah, we're the first 3 loss team. Like, you know, and it set a precedent for like you can lose 3 games and still have like a good shot. I mean, granted, you would have to like maybe get your 3 losses out of the way early and maybe get a big win like this one that would be this week to get you back up in there. But I don't know.
It could
I get
happen.
if they win and say if maybe Georgia drops two, the next two they would drop out. There's just teams need to drop out to like make room for them. I just don't know like who. There's not a lot of wiggle room up in there
Yeah, and
to
that's
come from this far back in. Like it's kind of the same with I think with Michigan, I suppose. But beating the number one team, that's the defending champions. Is like I feel like carries a little bit more weight than beating a Texas A&M team that almost lost to South Carolina.
yeah, and that kind of
I don't know.
softens it a little bit. I mean, you also got to look like you're gonna need some chaos. Like Miami, like they're sitting in a pretty good position because you beat Pittsburgh this weekend. Pittsburgh's probably gonna be ranked tomorrow when the rankings come out.
I
So
mean,
like
they're sitting there right now.
yeah, in the AP poll they are. So like the committee is probably gonna have something similar tomorrow. So if Miami takes care of business versus Pittsburgh, it's really just a matter of what's happening ahead of you. So, like, you're looking at Ohio State, they're in no matter what. Indiana, they're in no matter what. A&M's in no matter what. Georgia, we've talked about there's a scenario where they could miss if they lose to Georgia Tech and then the following weekend lose in the SEC championship. Oregon probably in even if they lose to Washington.
Yeah,
Um, Ole Miss pretty much locked unless they lose to Mississippi State this weekend.
it's
So
risky.
it's not 100%.
Once
Texas
you start
Tech,
getting like past five, it's like you lose a game. Like there's not a lot of wiggle room. Like that 10 spot's kind of like the cutoff because 12's the group of five team, 11's going to be the ACC champion, more than likely. So
yeah.
10's like the last free spot available. So it's like you lose. How far do you drop? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
so I would say
so
Ole Miss
risky.
is the first team where if you lose,
Potentially like
you're
bubble.
probably out. So like Ole Miss losing to Mississippi State, they're probably out. Texas Tech, if they lose to West Virginia, they're definitely out.
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma loses to LSU, they're out. Notre
Yep.
Dame loses to Stanford, they're for sure out.
No
Alabama
chance.
loses to Auburn, they're out. So and
Yeah,
so
that's
on and
six
so on
down.
after that.
It has to win this week, at least this
But
week.
all those and but if you're looking at all those teams, like I guess from like more of a kind of a matchup standpoint, like Ole Miss is favorited, Texas Tech's favorited, Oklahoma's favorited, Notre Dame's favorited, Alabama's favorited. So like if everything plays out the way it's supposed to, which I highly doubt because it's college football, but let's just say all those teams do what they're supposed to do, Miami is Miami and Texas and Michigan are maybe fucked.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
sucks to suck. Shouldn't have lost.
like
Sorry.
maybe you could make an argument for Michigan jumping Alabama, maybe. Um
Yeah, that's just more ammunition for teams to cry about the group of five teams getting an automatic spot. But it's like, come on, like you shouldn't have lost.
if you're losing 3 games or two games to low quality opponents, you don't
Yeah,
deserve to be
right.
in. Like it just is what it is. Like it sucks.
Like, yeah, you shouldn't be able to lose to Louisville. I mean, if SMU makes the ACC championship, that makes that loss look a little better. But like Louisville not making it, like you shouldn't be losing to those teams. Like if they would have lost to Notre Dame and maybe SMU, um, yeah, they'd probably be higher. Honestly, they would probably be sitting at least where Vanderbilt's at, have a little extra, maybe even right here where Alabama's at. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they would definitely have a lot more of an argument. So I mean like if you're sitting below 10, you're hoping for chaos this weekend. You're just hoping for every upset that could
Yeah,
possibly happen this
everything
weekend.
imaginable.
Because a
Yeah,
lot of these teams,
imagine it is like that. Like just they all lose. The whole top 10, like they all lose. Then it's like a complete like just swap of like that whole like 5 to 10 with everybody below them like in some fashion. It'd be fucking absurd.
oh, it would be such a mess for the committee to figure out as well
They,
because
they'd be pissed.
these
They'd
bubble
be
teams
fucking
aren't like
pissed.
amazing but like you would at that point probably have to throw like a Vanderbilt.
If Vanderbilt making it be sweet. I'd be cool for it. Yeah, Vanderbilt's
I
praying
would
for a
love it.
miracle. Yeah, I mean they're an exciting team to watch. Pavia is a lot of fun.
And Vanderbilt's, they're kind of in that same situation as Miami where they need some help to get in. That's just like where things are for that for them at
Yeah.
this point.
I mean, Vandy's
Um,
losses aren't even that bad. Like Bama and then Texas. Texas is climbing, so it's softening that one. I mean, that's why they're where they're at. If Texas was worse, they would be farther down. But um, God, I wish they wouldn't have lost to Texas because they would be probably like right here. Actually, they'd probably be right here where Texas Tech is, with
Yeah,
just one
realistically, with
loss to
just one
Alabama.
loss, they would be, a top 6 or 7 team, which I guess that kind of segues into our power six. I'm sure it's
Mine
not a
didn't change at
drastic
all.
change.
Not a
The only thing
single
I
one.
changed is I did it. I moved OU to 6. Um, we have and like for y'all don't know, I'm an Oklahoma fan. Got to win over Michigan. Michigan's sitting there at 15. Got to win over
Yep.
Alabama, sitting there at 10. Missouri's not currently ranked, but they were this past weekend. And then we also have Tennessee, who's sitting there at 18. So it's arguably the best resume in college football. The problem is, 2 losses. You got one to Ole Miss, who's sitting there at 6, and then you got another one to Texas, who's sitting there at 16. So they're not terrible losses either. But I could definitely see why people would put Oregon and Texas Tech ahead of us
Yeah,
at this
I
current
still have Texas
moment.
Tech sitting there. Because I mean, they got two wins, two good wins against BYU and Utah, both in the top 15. Um, yeah, if one of those teams, because I was really contemplating, switching them out and having Oregon at 6, but Oregon's wins aren't as good. I think they got one. Like
Is that
Iowa,
USC wins really? And then
yeah,
Iowa's not
Iowa's
even ranked right
gone,
now.
Penn State's gone. It's yeah, they got one decent win. So that's
Yeah, I
the
think
only reason
Oregon's
I
a
got
little bit
Texas.
overrated right now.
That's why I got Texas
Um,
over them.
I mean the win over USC
Texas
was
Tech.
was a good win. But yeah, Texas Tech at 6, and then you went like last week it was like Ole Miss,
I
Georgia.
think yeah, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Georgia, A&M, Ohio State, Indiana.
Okay, so mine's like after Oklahoma at 6, it's Ole Miss, Georgia, A&M, Indiana, Ohio State right now. But more or less the same top 5 we've basically been rolling with this
Yeah, not a lot's been going
past like
on up
five
here.
five weeks. It feels like it's been a long run of these top 5 teams. I mean, like nothing really happened this weekend to really change your opinion a whole lot. I mean, obviously Oregon beating USC was a big kind of statement win for Oregon.
They
Wasn't
shit
like
on them.
extremely decisive, but it was 42 to
Really, They
28.
they kind
It
of
was
shit on them.
a two-score game,
It
and
was close, I think, going into halftime.
it was a
Um,
very good USC offense that they're playing against too. So it's like 28 points is a lot of points to give up, but it's
yeah.
also a very, very good
You,
offense. So
you
you
think
can't
Lincoln
hate on
Riley
it.
leaves?
I'm hearing some talk of that.
He did like a press. I seen this like little clip. It was like him at a press conference, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been underwater for like the last 5 days, but I'm not going anywhere basically." And then everybody in the comments was like, "Yeah, that's what he said like 5 minutes before he left for OU, like when he snuck out on the private jet like at night."
Yeah,
Um,
that's I mean the way he was acting when he left OU was kind of similar to how he's acting now because I remember like there was a big Lincoln Riley to USC or not USC LSU like right after we lost Bedlam that year and he was like I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I am not the next head coach of LSU.
he should
But
have went to LSU.
he didn't say I'm not leaving Oklahoma. He was just like, I'm not
Oh,
gonna be the next head
a
coach of
little
LSU.
weasel, bro. A
And
little
then
snake
he
in the
went to
grass.
USC.
He
And
should
then
have went to
he didn't
LSU.
tell the players until the day of like when he got like they found out through the phone that he
Crazy
called a
work.
meeting and I guess Bob Stoops was like, "You get your ass in there right now and you tell them like you can't just because I guess he was just gonna leave like not say nothing."
Slimy as fuck.
Bob Stoops like went off on him and was like,
Respect the Bob Stoops, man, the
and he
legend.
took over for the rest of that. He coached the bowl
Yeah,
game.
I remember that. Fucking
So
legend, dude.
that was a weird time. I don't know where Lincoln Riley would go. I would think like if Dabo's
I
really flirting
mean,
with leaving, maybe Clemson.
if Ole Miss don't go
Hmm.
part ways with Lane Kiffin, LSU's available. Lincoln Riley's like it's a pretty big hire. Like if you can
He's
pull him,
he's doing okay at USC. He's not done anything to really damage himself. He had a couple of back-to-back bad years,
yeah,
but
they've kind of progressed over the last few years. I feel like they've kind of he's shown improvement a little bit, like especially post Caleb Williams. Um,
defense is
and
looking
he's
better
got
than usual.
like a historical development of like QB recruiting and QB development and putting quarterbacks into the league. top quarterbacks. Maybe not, in the league currently, but like, going into the league, they were like top picks. So
Well, I mean, he's got Baker, number one overall pick, Kyler, number one overall pick, Jalen Hurts, second round pick, Super Bowl champion, Caleb Williams, number one overall pick. So I mean,
yeah, I
that's
mean
just
Jalen Hurts
that
is like,
there.
it's not mostly. It's like Jalen Hurts was good before he got him. Like he just kind of like tuned his game a little bit and like put him in a different type of like spotlight in a way.
I think
So I,
I
I
think
give him like
Jalen
half
Hurts would
credit.
have
I
would have
give him half
been
credit.
he would have been a lower pick in the
Probably,
draft
but
because
probably.
his passing game wasn't as developed at Alabama. He was more just running it,
I'd
and
say I'd give him half credit for that one.
yeah, I mean, you got to give him some credit, and then
Yeah, of
Spencer
course.
Rattler about half credit on that. So I mean, he's been responsible for some guys going to the league. Um, I'm interested
Yeah.
to see what he does. I'm really interested to see what Dabo's doing because I'm hearing he's flirting with Florida right now. I'm hearing he's flirting with
Dabo should leave,
Arkansas.
man. He should go. And then like the fucked up thing is gonna be is like he's gonna go to these teams and then he's gonna start hitting the transfer portal, which is what he hasn't been doing at Clemson because he's gonna have to. Like you have to. You can't like, and he's
And
not gonna have
honestly,
that like a foundation established with like
yeah,
a pipeline of people you've built to, plug your holes that are coming up. Like, this guy's leaving next year, but I recruited for this already. Like, I got people
yeah,
being developed for these holes that are coming up. Looking, 4 years down the road, maybe even potentially
yeah.
earlier. They might leave earlier. So, like, I'm sure he's got it all mapped out at Clemson. Whether or not they actually pan out is a different story. That's just,
He at least has a
recruiting.
plan in place.
He already has that like built up, but he's gonna go into if he goes to Florida, like that team's a fucking they're not a bad team, but they do need some help. And like he's gonna go there and watch him start hitting the portal. Clemson fans are gonna be so mad. Uh,
Yeah, it's a
the hypocrisy is gonna be through the roof.
well, I mean, if he goes to like a bigger school like Florida or something, or even Arkansas, like they're probably gonna have like a general manager, somebody like really taking care of that aspect of the game for him,
Maybe it's not
which
gonna seem like he's doing it, but like,
and he's gonna
come
be
on
just
now.
worrying about coaching. It's gonna make his job probably 10 times easier if he leaves. If I'm LSU, I'd probably take him over Lane Kiffin, honestly. Like I know he's not had a great past few years, but
I mean,
he's won
Dabo's got
championships.
championships. Yeah, like
He's
that.
got two
Fuck.
championships.
Fuck everything Lane Kiffin been doing. Like this dude is an established winner. Like I mean, granted he's struck gold with some quarterbacks, but that's partially probably on him for recruiting them and pulling them to his school. So like you can't fault him for like nothing other
Yeah,
than
the
like these
notes.
past few down years.
Yeah, and that's a good point is, he brought in good quarterbacks. So what great coaches do, they bring in good quarterbacks. Not every single time do you hit on them. Sometimes, you get a DJ, sometimes you get a Jackson Arnold, out of the pile that, looks
Yeah,
good coming
of
out,
the
but
five
doesn't pan
stars.
out. But I mean, he's, Deshaun
You got
Watson,
Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik, Trevor Lawrence, like he's hit on a few different occasions.
Was
Now,
he there when they had Taj Boyd too?
yeah, he's been there since
Yeah, like
2009, I think, or
yeah.
something
So
like
he's
that.
Clemson's had some fucking insane like players come out of there. Insane.
CJ Spiller, like he's
T.
really
Higgins.
um who's the other there's T Higgins and there's another really good receiver.
Mike Williams.
That might be
I
it.
mean, he hasn't been as good, but I'm pretty sure he was at Clemson. I think he had like a fucking big neck injury or some shit.
Yeah, he's had like several good and then the running backs like I'm not saying they're all like amazing
A lot of good
NFL
defensive
talents,
players
but
too.
Will Shipley
Fucking
was a great player like and at the
some
college
good
level.
some good defensive linemen.
Yeah,
The
there was
dude
that
the
one guy
dude's
from like
name's
got
fuck
drafted
what's
very
his
high. I know who you're
name.
talking about. I can't remember his name off
Yeah,
the top
it
of my
doesn't
head.
fucking matter.
But yeah, anyways, like looking at what he's done with Clemson, I think he's just like I would go with him over
And I think he
anybody.
would leave too. Like right now, I think he would leave. Like he's
If he doesn't
like
leave now, like when would he? You know what I'm
yeah, when
saying?
like Cade Klubnik's gone, like he's probably going. I don't even think
Yeah,
he
he's
can
a
come back
senior.
another
Yeah, he's
year.
a
So
senior,
like
so he can't even
now is
come
the
back.
perfect time.
I think I would love to see Arkansas just because, Arkansas is not a team that's been good for a while. Like him just jumping in and building that
Ex
from scratch.
the expectations wouldn't be super high. Like, what, you win 5, 6 games first year, chilling. Next year, maybe win one more, improvement, chilling. Like, fans ain't coming for your fucking head.
And you
Like,
probably
oh,
get like a 5-year leash, on at a job like that.
yeah, like, come on.
The noticeable fall off for him though is like since Venables has left,
Well, since the NIL has opened up too, like, but
the
both
it's
of
like
those
it's a
together.
combination of like a few things that happened. It was like Venables leaving, the NIL increasing, and then also them striking out with DJ like really set the program back a little
Yeah.
bit. Granted, Klubnik did step up, but Klubnik was not good the first like year or two
No, they was
he was
getting benched
there.
like every other game.
So he's been going through it, but maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. He's built up a program before. I would like to see what he
Yeah,
does. As far
I
as
would too.
I mean, I don't think there's any other coaching drama really going on. The Dabo rumors, you got the Lane Kiffin stuff. James Franklin's at Virginia Tech. That's exciting. Norvell's coming back to Florida
Potential,
State.
yeah, the potential Lincoln Riley whispers.
Yeah, those whispers.
I heard something about Sarkisian.
I've been hearing the Tennessee Titans
I,
with him.
yeah, I think he would do it. I don't think Texas would just fire him. I mean, this is kind of like a down year for them, I suppose, but like
It's good
it's been
enough.
slightly consistent, like themed with them. Is this is kind of like that? Like, it almost seems like they're ceiling, 8, 9 wins, maybe 10, and maybe squeak in the playoffs. Man, they do have a playoff win, so it's something, but
Yeah, I would
I don't
say
know.
last year felt like their biggest shot at a championship run. The past 2
Yeah.
years, 2023, 2024, and now it feels like we're kind of regressing a little bit. Maybe they just
I,
need to
I think
develop Arch
if
for another year.
I think if he in his mind is like super like high on Arch and like he knows what he's got, like he knows he's gonna be good and like he knows he could potentially take them all the way, I think he would stay. But I think if he's got any doubts about like his development and like just like I don't know if he's gonna be able to get it done because we got like what, at least another year with Arch, because I think he redshirt last year.
Yeah, yeah. He
He
well
played,
he
he
redshirted the
played a
first year, and
few
then
games.
he redshirted the first year. Then he was like a redshirt freshman last year, so he's like a redshirt sophomore this year. So
So
he's been there for three
he
years.
could go this year, but his
He's not
stock's not going
going
to be high
to.
enough. So they got another year of him. So it's like if I'm Sarkisian, that's what I'm kind of weighing. Like, and then like maybe potentially like what you got recruiting wise coming in. Like, are they gonna have a competing roster? And if not, then I'd take the NFL job. Why not?
You know,
Give it try it out. Because like, what's the worst
explore.
that can happen? You're gonna come back to college football after a couple years, and people are gonna be like, "Sarkisian's back. Let's get him. He built
Yeah, that's the
Texas.
thing.
He built Texas up." Which I mean, kind of did. He brought Texas back in a way. I mean, not fully back, but he's there's being spoken about in a higher or a bet. They're being looked at in a better light than they were before he got there.
Oh
So
yeah, they it definitely feels like Texas is a
yeah,
a major a major player in college
people
football, and
would
that's the thing
completely forget about him not really doing anything, and
in the
maybe he
NFL.
doesn't
Yeah,
even go back to the SEC. Maybe he goes over to a Big 12 school and just whoops ass and makes the playoffs every year, you know?
it could
Uh,
it could happen. I mean, that's the thing. Like the college football world will always welcome you back with open arms. Like anytime if you fail in the
exactly.
NFL, who cares? You
Chip
could come
Kelly,
back.
that motherfucker, he's
Yeah,
probably gonna come back.
he's probably gonna have a head coaching job in a couple
Or
days
at least an offensive coordinator spot, at
at
least.
a
Because I
at a
mean,
bigger school.
he's a decent offensive coordinator. He's average, like I would say above average. Sometimes he fucks it up, but
Yeah, he's
and
not
he
as
did
as
really
good as when
good.
he got there, but
He did good at Ohio State.
yeah. So I mean, he's got an opportunity to come in here. I would say like one thing to watch out for. So like if the Lincoln Riley domino falls first,
Before Lane
like
Kiffin.
yeah. So like I want to recap everybody on Lane Kiffin's career because it's really interesting. So like Lane Kiffin, his dad was a coach at USC, He took the
Ooh.
offensive coordinator position at a very young
Yeah, he
age.
was he was there like way back in the day. I
Like
forgot.
Matt Leinart and all them, like he was the offensive coordinator. So what happened after that? He got hired by the Oakland Raiders. He got forced to draft Jamarcus Russell, even though he didn't want to. Obviously, that didn't pan out. Got fired from the Raiders after a couple of years. Goes back to college. Goes to Tennessee. Coaches 1 year at Tennessee, has a solid year. Leaves for USC. Coaches USC for about 4 years.
Gets
Gets
fired.
fired. Goes to assistant coach for Alabama. Goes to Florida Atlantic. Now he's at Ole Miss. I still think deep down USC is probably still his dream job, and he's back up to where he could probably take that back. If Lincoln Riley falls first, Lane Kiffin's probably going to USC, I would think. That seems like his dream
That's
job.
an interesting development. I don't think I've heard anybody bring that up. And yeah, it's how big is USC to him and like in his heart? Is it bigger than $90 million or or is it bigger than, a potential championship? Like what do you really value in here? Because you got like you got three tiers of options.
Well, also if you recall back when Lincoln Riley got the USC job, they paid him $110 million to go to USC.
That
So they
motherfucker don't
they
need the money.
potentially
He
like
really don't need the
if
money.
Lincoln Riley leaves, they could work something out with actually the other school probably have to pay USC to get Lincoln Riley. So they might have enough to compete with LSU with Lane Kiffin. And I think like if you just look at his story, like the low point of his career was getting fired from USC, and that's where
Because
his
he tried to
dad coached, and like
he
it's
tried
just
to
there's so
rebound
much
it.
going on. Like
Yeah.
I would like if I was him, I would want to redeem myself and
I
go
kind
back
of
and
I
like
kind of hope that happens like the Lincoln Riley domino fall. I hope he snakes them out too just to show like who he really is because deep down I think that's what he is. He's a little
it'd
weasel.
be a
It'd be fucking
fantastic
hilarious.
story. It'd be like a movie.
It'd be kind of nuts.
I guess we could hop in the Heisman. I'm just like perplexed with Heisman right now. Like I have no idea
Um
what to do besides Mendoza at one. Like I have no idea. Like I have a ranking, but
mine
like
I changed a
I
little
want to
bit.
change. I want to change it. Like I changed like a few things, but like I
I
don't
I
even
ended
know.
up dropping Haynes King out, with the second
Yeah.
loss. He's got no shot even though his stats are still really really good. So I'm trying to get this fucking screen share tab to go the fuck away from the top of my screen so I can tab
W-
through.
We have
Um,
literally
yeah, I got
almost the exact
Stockton,
we have the exact same. I have Stockton at five, but I flipped Jeremiah Love with Julian Sand.
Jeremiah Love's motherfucker is a demon. 8 carries for 171 yards, 3 touchdowns. Is nasty, nasty, nasty work. And that was after they were already up like 21-0 before
He
the
was
offense got to
going
take the field. Like
stupid.
that's probably one of like the best stat lines for a running back. Like 21.4 yards per carry average is diabolical. Like that, what the fuck? Like that's absurd.
That's like
Um,
so ridiculous. Then you on top of that, you gotta consider the fact that I think he has three receiving touchdowns.
he does
So you're looking at
20 total,
20 total and almost
1,500, almost
1,600.
1,600 total yards.
Like I'm very tempted to put him like I was very
Well,
tempted to put him at like two,
I
but
can't. I'm trying to remember. Ashton Genty was pushing 2,000 something yards,
yeah, yeah, he was
and
way up there.
and he didn't win it. It's
But
just, just
I will
not.
say Jeremiah Love is at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But I will say the reason like we don't see Notre Dame Heisman winners
Because they
because
don't
they don't play a
fucking
conference
play anybody.
championship game. They don't get that extra week that like
Yeah.
Julian
Who do they
Sam
even
might
play
get
next week?
Stanford. So he could go off again,
Oh yeah,
like
he might
hypothetically.
put 200 on them boys. Uh, it might be something like it might be something like that. If I had to if I had to guess and just gamble on his production, I would wager it'd be something like that Boston College stat line. And unless they really want to try to pad him up, but like yeah, you don't really want to like I don't think he has
You don't want to
enough
risk the
juice
injury.
enough juice to get him a win. Like if he was on the cusp, maybe sitting at two, like hey man, you want to go for this? All right. Or you want to be healthy for the playoffs. And if he wanted to do it, yeah, maybe feed him a little bit, but I don't think he really realistically has a shot. He might get invited just because he's the only non-quarterback that's like even being discussed. But since that's not the case, they might not really let him play too much, especially if they get out pretty quick early. Um, just to kind of rest up for the playoffs, because I mean that's kind of potentially what fucked him over last year was his injury and just it wasn't being 100%. So I mean we'll see, but
Yeah, I mean he really needs to like just have like a historic game against Stanford probably because they just don't have the benefit of the conference
he runs for
championship.
500 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Okay,
he is.
yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
maybe put him at two, and then let people vote. Like, I think anything short of like 500, it's not happening.
Well, 400 might be very close to like that. Like that'd be
Okay,
his
yeah,
goal.
I was just maybe pushing him closer to like Genty's like rushing, like that put him at 1800 and 25 touchdowns, which is kind of that's
Yeah, but it'd
nuts that
also
line.
just be like the recency bias of that happening the very last week. That would just like that
People
would
would be
be the
like, "Oh
last thing
my
the voters
God, this is
remembered.
the single greatest game from a running back in history." Like that'd blow everybody's fucking moments out from the entire season. Saying sitting at three.
Yeah, I got him at
Um,
4. I just swapped those two, but
he didn't really do shit this past week against Rutgers. I mean, didn't really have to. They killed him. 157 for 2 touchdowns, puts him at still 27 total, 2,800 yards, 4 picks, three, second on the QBR. We got Marcel Reed sitting here at second. He's got 31 total, so he's 1 touchdown higher, 4 interceptions more, and a lower QBR, but he's also got about 400 rushing yards, which puts him statistically higher on the yards cast category. And then, Mendoza's sitting here with 35 total touchdowns. He's also had a bye week this week. Potential this week against Purdue to just body them. I mean, he's only thrown for under 200 one game against UCLA. He's got a touchdown every game other than the first game. So realistically, probably throws for 225, 250, 2 touchdowns.
yeah, I mean
That
that's
would
that's
put that
probably
would
what we're
put
looking at.
him at 37, 38 total touchdowns, 20, 2,800 yards roughly,
Yeah, and then he's
plus his
got the Big Ten
200. So
championship ahead of him.
3,000 total yards potentially, Big Ten championship. Uh,
Maybe close to 40 touchdowns if like depending on how it all plays out.
yeah, I mean, if he just comes out and plays pretty well, yeah, it'd be close to 40,
So he's got
32,
35 right now. So I mean,
3,300 yards.
he needs to average like 2.5 touchdowns over the next 2 games basically. So
I mean, he beat saying that
honestly,
he's got it,
yeah,
but
100%. And if saying somehow they lose to Michigan, they don't get in the title game. Um, even if they somehow lost to Oregon, I feel like as long as he had a good game, it'd be pretty close. Well, obviously, Marcel Reed with a SEC championship would have a good argument. And then, I
yeah,
just like you said, like we discussed with Jeremiah Love, not having that extra game hurts them quite a bit. And he needs to have quite a big game against Stanford as it is. So, Gunnar Stockton also could like sneak up, and you also got Diego Pavia, like he's kind of sitting out
yeah,
there, like
he's still out on a limb, but
he's not going to get that
it's a
conference
little late.
championship game either. So that's kind of, but I'm hearing like I've seen people have Diego Pavia at like 2. I've seen lists that have him at 2. I've seen lists that have
Fuck are his stats?
Jeremiah Love at 1. I've seen a lot of different lists. It's really not like a decided race.
We'll just put him in between. Well, compared to Marcel Reed first. So 27.52 passing to 29.24. So he's beating him in passing yards, beating him by 1 passing touchdown, less picks, better QBR. Marcel Reed's got the better record and the better win. Um, he's also got 8 rushing touchdowns, so that puts him at 34 with 600 rushing yards. So that puts him at like 3,500 total yards. Like he's beating everybody in
With the
yards.
yards, yeah.
And he's 1 touchdown short of Mendoza. So like And he's got two losses, so he's kind of in that same boat with Jeremiah Love and Gunnar Stockton. So um,
He's got like a little bit of a shot. I'm looking
if I
at the
was going
Vegas
stat
odds.
wise, that he'd be two.
Yeah, just going purely off of stats,
But he's also
unfortunately,
played better teams than Fernando Mendoza has too. So
if he would have just like beat Bama, I think that
or
would have
Texas,
like
just the
probably
one
would have
loss.
solidified him. So like where the Vegas odds have him, he's sitting at 4. So the Vegas odds currently Mendoza's sitting at number 1, Sayin sitting at 2, Jeremiah Love sitting at 3, Pavio 4, Marcel Reed 5, Gunnar Stockton 6, and you got Haynes King and Jacob Rodriguez kind of sitting out there as long shot odds right
Yeah,
now. So we're really looking from Gunnar Stockton up, but currently Vegas is very high on Pavia, even more so than Marcel Reed. But
I
Marcel
don't
Reed's
hate it.
also playing Texas this weekend and then potentially an SEC championship. So that'll definitely boost him. And then,
Yep.
Mendoza is going to have the Big Ten championship. So I think you're going to see these odds shift depending on how this weekend plays. But I'm glad to see Mendoza, at 1 because it's been saying the whole year, but I think they're very close. Let's see what the actual
It's probably like plus 100, maybe plus 200 for Mendoza, maybe
minus 105 for Mendoza, plus 400 for San. So
that's not a terrible swing potential. It's doable
like
for saying.
if they play each other, it's just going to be like the winner of that game, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Heisman race is actually pretty interesting this year compared to most years. Like I don't think there's like a for sure winner. There's a lot of things that could
No,
prevent these teams.
there's still some potentials, especially with there's matchups between some of these players with Mendoza and Sayin and potentially Reed and Stockton. Um, and even potentials for some of these people to play each other in the playoffs, even, post um conference championships too. So potential rematches for some of these dudes, which should be kind of wild.
Yeah, that would be after the
Yeah, it'd be
Heisman's decided,
afterwards,
but
but
it'd
but
be it'd
still
be
it'd
fun
be
to watch
you,
to
you
see
know
to see who would come out of that and chip on their shoulder. And the Heisman, like it's kind of like a Heisman curse. I think a lot of the times, with the exception of I think like every Heisman winner has lost like in or before the except for Burrow. I think like Burrow off the top of
Derrick
my
Henry
head.
won that year.
Oh yeah, no, Derrick Henry won, and also I think
Derrick Henry
Tim
did.
Tebow won the.
Mark
No,
Ingram.
no, no, Tim Tebow didn't win his Heisman year.
They
I
probably
think
won the year afterwards or the year
actually no, I
before.
think Tebow might have won that year. Mark Ingram, yeah, no, they won. So
They won.
it's like
Devontae Smith
It's like
won.
the
It's like all the Bama
Bama
players, they
guys.
all won.
Yeah, aside from the
Um,
Bama players, because like when you're looking
Winston
at
won.
yeah, so it's not as
Mariota
much of a
didn't.
curse anymore.
Burrow
Um,
did
Bryce Young didn't. Because
last year.
they
No.
lost in the to Georgia. Yeah, Travis Hunter didn't even make the playoffs. We got what's his Caleb Williams didn't make playoffs. So I mean, there's
No.
it's hit or miss. It's a lot
It
of pressure.
feels, I don't want to say 50-50, but maybe like 60-40, 70-30. I'd have to like look at it and,
Well,
add
one
them
one
up. But
interesting thing that you just mentioned when you're listing all those players, it kind of just hit me is that like almost none of those players are quarterbacks though. Like Mark Ingram, running back, Derrick Henry, running back. We got
so
a
like as a quarterback, if you win the Heisman,
Devontae Smith. It's like a
they don't
quarterback
win it.
thing. It seems
Yeah.
like for the
Maybe
for the most part.
outside of Travis Hunter being the non-quarterback winner.
Yeah, I mean Joe Burrow, just had a historic season where it didn't even matter.
Do you see that thing? It was like every year ending in five was a running back winning the Heisman. So like
Jeremiah
historically it should
Love,
be he's got to run for 500 like that's the only possible, or he's got to have like seven fucking touchdowns and like 300 yards.
I'm like
It's
low key kind of rooting for him. Like it'd be cool.
it's gotta be a historical game, like first snap he's got to take that shit to the crib just to like rack up like early like like 80 yards and a touchdown just off a rip, at least twice. Something
Yeah,
big like that. Maybe a catch and run. Put that motherfucker on the punt returns. Kickoff, put him on the kickoff returns. Put that motherfucker out at cornerback. Let him get a pick. Let him throw the ball a little bit. man, a passing touchdown. Some
That that'd be a thing is like obviously, you know, Stanford probably stacks the box. So like when you throw it, just throw it to Jeremiah Love again. Like just like keep
hey,
just give him the ball any way you
just
know
run the
how.
fucking Wildcat, dog. Like the defense, Stanford ain't scoring, or if they do, it ain't gonna be more than 14. So like, defense is gonna handle business. They just fucking killed Syracuse, so. Just run the Wildcat. Let him run the offense. Let him play quarterback, and if he wants to run it, he can just run it. If y'all really give a shit about that man winning the Heisman, that might be the move.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's probably
that's the
that
only way,
the
dude.
only way, and I would love to see
I'd
it.
love to see it too. I don't really even fuck with Notre Dame like that, but I really do like Jeremiah Love a lot. He just like sparks something in me when I watch him play. It's just it's like an awe.
Yeah, and
Like
it's just
I don't get that feeling other than watching like maybe Haynes King sometimes. Just the way like just the way he plays.
yeah, and I mean like at certain points, Diego Pavia had me like that, but
Yeah.
for
But
the most
not
part,
consistently like this motherfucker does. Like but look at those last three games.
yeah, that's
Like what the fuck? That is nasty behavior, dude. Uh
that is actually very crazy. But yeah,
those
that's I
last
guess
three is insane.
the Heisman race is heating up. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we got another couple of weeks to see how that shapes up. Um, anything else you want to touch on before we end the main episode?
No, I got nothing.
Yep, I think we're at the end. Hopefully you got something out of this. This felt like a good episode,
It's,
honestly. Like,
yeah, it felt pretty good. We just kind of rambling about random stuff, so
yeah, it's obviously like you know like the power rankings and the Heisman is like it's kind of like just beating a dead horse. It seems like you
yeah.
know the past few weeks. So
Ain't a lot
uh,
going on.
kind of had a break off from all that just to keep the convo flowing. So we'll catch uh y'all next week, or we'll catch y'all on a few episodes this week, obviously as usual. So roll tide.
Roll Tide.